Okay, hi everyone. I just wanted to make a super quick video on the MPS programmer and an issue that I just solved, basically. So I replaced an MP2884B on a 3080 FE, and I couldn't figure out how to get it programmed again. Basically, Here, let me plug this back in really quick. So right now I have the 5-volt rail powered on the card, and I have the clock and the data lines connected to the clock and data line pins on the PCB, and I have the ground connected to the PCB as well. So when you first scan, what I was seeing was I was not seeing the MP2884B. I was only seeing the 6B and the 8B, but I knew that the 4B was there and everything was right. I checked and made sure it had power, it had 3.3 volts, and it had 1.8 volts, so everything should have been good. So what I had to do is I first had to click this, show unknown, and this will allow population of unknown devices. So this controller that I got had no firmware on it. So it was showing up as an unknown device. So that solved that issue. And then basically when I would first click on it, it would say it didn't know what it was, again, because it was unknown. So it asked me to identify the device. I just selected MP288, and there was no option for MP2884B, so that's what I chose. I just picked that one. Probably any of the options are fine, but I would just click that one and then click update or whatever it said at the bottom. Unfortunately, I should have recorded this, but I didn't know the problem at the time. So, and then it will populate as an MP288. And then what you have to do, I tried to get it to update to the correct device. I tried to load the config and write to the NVM, and nothing was working. I couldn't get it to come up as the correct device. So I figured out you have to go here and you have to click this compare config ID. And so now it's set to not comparing the config ID. And then you click sysconfig and you load up the export that you took from the cur export here, which exports just the current device's registers or configuration. And so I'll double click on that and then it loads it up, and then I'm not gonna, well, here, I'll just do it again really quick. And you'll see it says no compare configure ID, so it's not comparing the configure ID. If you don't have that, the configure ID is not going to be correct here, so even if you try to change the configure ID, this isn't going to work. I tried it, and it won't let you load the configuration on here. It will just go back to the no firmware, whatever it is, stock. So you have to enable that option, and then it will say no compare configure ID. Then you can click OK. And then once it's loaded, you can see configuration for system is complete. All registers have been written to NVM. So then I tap write to NVM again, just in case here, and let it write. And now you have to power cycle the controller to get that to take. If you rescan or if you close this out and open it back up, that write to the NVM is not going to take. Just go power off your power supply, give it a second, power it back on, and then when you click scan again, you'll see that it will load up this time as an MP2884B or whichever, any of these controllers. This works for any of them. And then you can see that all of the options are correct. These voltages changed, all of the options in here updated to the correct options.